This is Prophet Blaine, and you are listening to Worship Radio International, the world's #1 online Christian radio station.
Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing today? I'm so excited to be coming on today and talk about what the Lord wants me to talk about today. This week has been a very interesting week. A lot of things have been going on, a lot of things are happening, and a lot of things are currently still happening. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited for the things that are to come. I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about today. I kind of had like a topic in mind, but I wasn't really sure like what I was going to release or what God wanted me to talk about. So I'm going to share some good news of the week. And the good news of the week is that I have met an amazing group of people. I reconnected with my best friend, and she introduced me to this group of friends that are following Christ and also in the walk of faith, and they're also trying to figure out their lives at the same time. And it was pretty interesting to like listen to their stories and like listen to their testimonies and stuff like that. And it amazes me how much God can impact one person's life, and that person can go impact other people's lives. To me, it's wonderful when I see young people doing the things of God and really trying to live a faithful life, trying to live a lifestyle, not just, live it, but really walk in it, So it was really nice to meet them, and it was such a powerful movement, and it is a powerful movement, and I'm so excited for them and what they're doing, and I want to have one of them on here so that we can just talk and have conversation. So that will be happening soon. But yeah, I'm like really excited to be here with you guys today. So today we're going to be talking about the gift that is inside of you. There's many times, like, we don't really understand what is inside of us. Many times we don't understand what it is, what it looks like, and how it works. And a lot of times God has to really extract it out of us in ways that are unexpected. And sometimes he has to, sometimes you got to be caught off guard. Sometimes, you are warned, but you don't really think much of it. And when the time comes, you feel like it's just so much going on and there's so much chaos going on. I guess let's go ahead and get started. So please share this video. So share this video. As you know, you can listen to us on TuneIn, which right now, if you're watching on Facebook Live and you're not able to watch the video, but you just want to listen to the audio, you can listen to us in TuneIn on Worship Radio International, and we shall be live right there. It's just you can download the app, really. So let's go to Judges 13. That's where I'm going to be teaching from today. Yesterday it was like 1:00 in the morning. The day was finally over for me. I don't usually go to sleep that late because I can't function the next day, especially with waking up and having to get the kids ready. But yesterday was a very busy day. And we just decided last minute, hey, let's go to the grocery store and get a couple things before tomorrow. So we decided to do that at I think we left at like 10 p.m. So that was already like really late. And, my kids, they have a bedtime. So it was a little bit of a mess when we were on our way back home. But it's okay, though. And then after that, we were sitting there, and basically Holy Spirit took over, and we started to pray. And then, of course, my children wanted to participate in prayer. So they chilled with us until the end. And then from there, they went to sleep. And then I was sitting there, it was like 1:00, and I remembered like, oh my God, tomorrow's Wednesday. Like, I have to do the show. And I went to my notes because usually I prepare the day after I do the show, and so that I can have it ready for the next week. And I didn't have anything ready whatsoever. So usually I'm not really like one to like, how some people can read the word and get a message like straight out of it, like in 0.2 seconds. That usually doesn't happen to me. So this is my mini testimony moment. So I was like, okay, Lord, I don't know what to talk about. What do you want me to talk about? I have a topic because I have written it down, but I have nothing under it because I wasn't sure I was going to talk about that. So After that, God was reminded me of the story of Samson, and I was like, Samson, I haven't read that in a long time. So we're gonna go to Judges 13, and basically, like, I read literally the first two verses, and it was over from there. I knew exactly what I was gonna talk about, and I was excited and turned. And here we are today. Here we are right now, and let's do this. All right. So Judges 13, sorry. And then the people of Israel were back at it again, doing what was evil. I'm reading from the Message Bible, by the way. Well, the Bible, the Message, you know what I mean. So let me start over again. And then the people of Israel were back at it again, doing what was evil in God's sight. God put them under the domination of the Philistines for 40 years. At that time, there was a man named Manoah from Zorah from the tribe of Dan. His wife was barren and childless. The angel of God appeared to her and told her, I know that you are barren and childless, but you're going to become pregnant and bear a son. But take much care. Drink no wine or beer. Eat nothing ritually unclean. You are, in fact, pregnant right now, carrying a son. No razor will touch his head. The boy will be God's Nazarite from the moment of his birth. He will launch the deliverance from Philistine oppression. So, of course, my husband is like my cheerleader, okay? So I said, hey, babe, sit right here so that I can, read this passage and, I guess, like, preach to you what I'm about to talk about, because I need it to make sense. It has to click in my brain before, And then I was like, dang, Holy Spirit, that was good. So anyways, right now we're dealing with the Israelites. The people of Israel, they were fooling, and they were always fooling. And at this point, there is a lot of chaos going on right now. But in the midst of that chaos, God has sent an angel to someone and tells him, I know that you are barren and childless. So this person, imagine you just living your regular life, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just walking around, walking in the woods. I don't know what was around this time. They probably had stores. I don't know. So, like walking down the river, you know what I'm saying? You just chilling there. You can't have children. You're childless, and you're just walking around. All of a sudden, this angel comes talking about you about to be pregnant. And you're going to carry this baby. And there's specific instructions of you carrying this baby. You can't, drink wine. You can't do, ritually unclean things. Like, you can't cut this baby boy's hair. Like, you're giving instructions. Mind you, you are still in the place of, I can't have children. Right? But you have this angel coming, this bad boy, talking about you are going to have a child. Actually, let me just tell you right now, you are already pregnant right now. So when I was reading, I'm putting myself in her position where I'm like, so I'm just walking around regular life. All of a sudden, this angel comes talking about you basically pregnant right now. I don't know this. I'm just living my regular life. So it's the same thing with us. We all have a baby inside of us. There is a baby that is inside of us, and God comes to tell us that the baby that is inside of us is precious. And whether it's music, whether it's comedy, whether it's ministry, whether it's, arts, So you have all these gifts, all these babies, you have this baby inside of you. And, you're just walking in your regular life. You're walking your regular life. You know this, you kind of know that it's there. But like, in your head, you don't think you're capable enough to really push it and really have it become everything that it is, right? So it's there, but you don't think much of it. You're just kind of living your regular life. So now here comes God and tells you, hey, the baby that is inside of you, for example, music, the music that is inside of you, I'm going to use it to bring deliverance and healing to this group of people. You're sitting there living your regular life, and God comes and tells you that. When God does that, you kind of just chill there like for a second, like, okay, God, but how are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't think I'm capable enough of doing this. I don't, And he says, I know that you don't think you're capable of doing this, but you already have it in the inside of you. All the equipment, all of the things, all of the gifts, all of the talents that you need in order to execute this, in order to deliver this baby, is already inside of you. But now, he gives you instructions. Now he tells you, in order for your gift to be purified, in order for you to be a pure vessel, you need to not go to the club every night. In order for you to remain a pure vessel, you are not allowed to go drinking. You are not allowed to go smoking. You're not allowed to hang out with these people. You're not allowed to be influenced by this person. So he gives you these instructions for your baby. And a lot of times we ignore that part. We're just so focused on what he said, like, oh, my music is going to bring healing and deliverance, and it's just supposed to happen. But it doesn't work that way. Because if you are not a pure vessel, if you're not cleansed, then your music is not going to be the fullness of what it needs to be. It's not going to be where God wants it. That's why he gave you specific instructions on why you have to follow these things. So, let's keep reading. The woman went to her husband and said, a man of God came to me. He looked like the angel of God, terror laced with glory. I didn't ask him where he was from, and he didn't tell me his name. But he told me, you're pregnant. You're going to give birth to a son. Don't drink any wine or beer or eat nothing ritually unclean. The boy will be God's Nazarite from the moment of birth to the day of his death. Okay, so right now, homegirl is letting her husband know, hey, I just had this experience, and I'm pregnant. And I can't do blah, 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 blah. So let's keep reading. Manoah prayed to God, Master, let the man of God you sent come to us again and teach us how to raise this boy who is to be born. God listened to Manoah. God's angel came again to the woman. She was sitting in the field. Her husband Manoah wasn't there with her. She jumped to her feet and ran and told her husband, he's back, the man who came to me that day. Manoah got up and following his wife came to the man, and he said to him, are you the man who spoke to my wife? He said, I am. Manoah said, so when what you say comes true, what do you have to tell us about this boy and his work? The angel of God said to Manoah, keep in mind everything I told the woman. Eat nothing that comes from the vine. Drink no wine or beer. Eat no ritually unclean foods. She's to absorb everything I command her. Manoah said to the angel of God, please stay with us a little longer. We'll prepare a meal for you and you'll eat. Okay, all right, let me stop there before I keep moving forward. So at this point, Manoah, which is the husband, and homegirl, they're having this conversation. She runs to him and she's like, hey, I just had this encounter with this angel. Your girl is pregnant. You know what I'm saying? And then he's like, nah, sis, I don't know about this. You know what I'm saying? This is kind of like you coming over here talking about it could be, what did she say? Let me be exactly what he said. She said, she wasn't even sure if it was an angel of God. Like, she was kind of like still having that moment, like, I don't know if this is you, God. Like, but, I'm going to just keep, moving forward. But I go and tell my husband because, of course, he's the head. So Manoah's like, all right, well, we're going to find out if this is accurate because I want to hear this for myself and see if this is true. So Manoah decides to pray. And he's like, okay, God, you spoke to her, but I want to see it for myself and I want to hear it for myself. So God honors him and he sends the angel, and the angel basically explains again what he told the woman. So that's what we do. When God speaks to us about something that he is going to birth out of us, we get excited and many times we don't really understand. We don't really understand what is inside of us. So we get so like frantic and like trying to figure it all out that we run and go tell someone. But sometimes this someone may or may not believe what you're saying. And a lot of times they won't understand what you're trying to say. They don't understand what is inside of you. They don't understand how it functions. They don't understand what's going to happen with it. You know what I'm saying? So when you run to people and you tell them out of excitement what's going on, sometimes what can happen is it can cause you to be disappointed because their reaction is not the same that you had. Sometimes what can happen is you may feel like, okay, but why are you doubting me? Like, I experienced this, I went through this. He spoke to me. I heard him clear as day. He was right in front of me and he spoke to me. He told me what I'm going to birth out. And they're sitting there like, nah, sis, like, I don't know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? I got to see it for myself so that I can believe you. And a lot of times what God is trying to do is he's trying to take you through the process so that way when things start to happen, your belly starts to grow. You're learning how to, play keys. You're learning how to play the guitar. You're learning all these things. Your belly is growing. Your belly's growing and it's brewing and it's brewing and it's brewing. And when the time has come to pop, when the baby is about to be delivered, when it's time to birth the baby, when it's time to deliver, everything's already in place. See, a lot of times we feel like we have to prove something to someone. We need to prove to them that you heard correctly. We need to prove to people, yes, I heard this. I need to prove to them that I am somebody. I need to prove to them that, you don't want to believe me now, but watch later. See, you cannot have the mentality and you cannot walk that way because you are walking in pride. When you are walking in pride and you're trying to do the things of God at the same time, those things are not going to be done appropriately. One, two, it's not going to be pure. It's going to be tainted. And so when God speaks to you and God tells you that you have something inside of you, that he has given you a ministry and that you're going to birth a ministry, then you need to go through the process. You need to feed that baby. You need to eat the right nutrients for that baby. You need to make sure that everything that is around you, that your whole life adjusts for this baby that is to come. For example, when you are legitimately pregnant, your response automatically for the mother is to get herself prepared. They call it nesting. You start to nest and you start to, get all this stuff together. You start to get the crib ready. You start to get the baby's room ready. You try to get diapers. You're getting all this stuff ready, the bassinet, all this stuff. You're getting it ready. You're getting prepared for this baby. You know what I'm saying? And then they tell you got to take prenatals. And in other cases, sometimes specifically for your body and your baby, sometimes you got to take iron. Maybe you got to take some vitamin D. Maybe you got to take some extra supplements because your baby needs a little bit more of something. So you got to feed your body this thing so that your baby can grow, inside of you. It can grow healthy and it can get everything that it needs. So when you are doing these things and it's time to birth the baby, it'll be an easier process. It'll flow easier. Because, for example, if you lack iron throughout your whole pregnancy and then you're about to deliver this baby and you decided you didn't want to take iron, when you're delivering this baby, you are going to lose blood. And you can lose so much blood that it can cause a hemorrhage. It can cause other things to happen. And it can cause your baby to, it can cause you to die. It can cause your baby to die. So there's consequences on you not nurturing your baby, not taking care of your baby. There's consequences of you not taking the instructions that God has given you seriously. There is a seriousness in taking the instructions that God has given you and using these tools to the full potential. So if God told you, hey, I have a business for you, and the business that I have for you is cars. I want you to go and fix cars up. That's the gift that I have inside of you. But before you do all these things, I want you to go and take classes from this person. But I want you to stay there for 8 months. And yes, it's going to be a sacrifice because you got to pay out of pocket. So when you got to pay out of pocket, you're going to have to do this for 8 months. I need you to do this for 8 months and I need you to be obedient to what I'm telling you to do. Because you don't know what he's trying to do in those 8 months. He could be setting you up for something. You don't know in those 8 months you could be meeting the connection that you need so that you can have the building to fix those cars in. So when he gives you this baby, when he tells you, hey, I have this CD for you. I need you to make this CD. This CD is going to cause healing in this nation. This CD is going to go to these nations. And when you make this, I'm sorry, I'm calling it CD. I'm talking about music. Ooh, I haven't seen a CD in like a really long time. But anyways, so, he's telling you make this music. And when you make this music, it's going to bring healing to this nation. It's going to go to this nation. But before you do that, before you start working on that, I need you to purify yourself. I need you to stop doing the things that you're not supposed to be doing. I need you to stop lying. I need you to stop manipulating people. And when you stop doing these things, then I need you to go over here, and I need you to be submitted to this person. And when you are submitted to this person, I need you to wait there. And then after you're done there, I want you to go meet this person. And when you meet this person, this is where it all begins. See, a lot of times when we have this baby inside of us, a lot of times we feel like, okay, well, this baby has to come out now. It has to be out of me now. And a lot of times, a lot of times God can take you through a process, and the process can be, 5 years. And you will not start delivering this baby until that 5-year mark. People, nowadays, especially this generation where everything is done so quickly, we have technology, so we don't feel like we need to wait. Everything is at the palm of our hands, literally. And we feel like these things got to be done now. So it causes us to be very impatient. And when God has called us to be patient, we fail that test constantly. And our biggest problem is money. That is the biggest problem. And the root of it is fear. The root of it is fear. We have this fear that if we don't have these certain things, then none of this is going to work out. But if God told you to do it, He said, I know you are barren and childless. He said, I know you don't have these things. I know you don't have the equipment. I know you don't have, you don't think you're sufficient enough for this. I know what you're going through already right now. But I need you to do these things because you are already pregnant with what I need you to deliver. So what is the choice that you are going to make when it comes to your baby? What are the choices that you're going to make? Are you going to feed it the nutrients that it needs? Are you going to be obedient to the instructions that He has given you so that when it's time to deliver this baby, it can be done in the right way and it can be done on time? Because a lot of times God has a timing. No, God already has things in order for a specific time. And what happens a lot is we are causing time to go in a loop. Because let's say, for example, God tells me to do, quit my job. But I'm being disobedient and it's taking me 3 years to quit my job. So I get fired from every job that I go apply to. I don't get hired from certain jobs because I'm fighting against what God wants me to do. So I don't get hired. I quit my job. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just happening over and over again for 3 years. But God wanted me to quit my job 3 years ago. So when I finally realized, okay, I'm going to stop fighting God, it's already 3 years later, fighting God. And then I decide, okay, I'm going to stop fighting you, God, 3 years. Okay, but what I needed you to do was this year. And a lot of times He can accelerate you quickly, but that process is going to hurt. It's going to be a tough one because when He got to accelerate things, when He got to move things around, you got to move quickly. You got to do things quickly and you don't have time to think about anything. And a lot of times He really you have to wait now. Now you made Him wait. So now you got to wait another 3 years for the timing to be good again. So again, what is the choice that you are going to make? Are you going to make the choice of being obedient to what God is telling you to do, the specific instructions that He has given you for your baby? Are you, and it takes baby steps. It really does take baby steps. We make it seem like it's so, like it's the end of the world. Like we really make it that impossible. If God tells you, go, I need you to go look for a car. He's telling you to just go look. You don't know what can happen next. He could probably just be having you exploring around until you find the car that you want. And when you finally find the car that you want, you don't know what He can do. He could probably have you wait another month. So you see what I'm saying? Like, it's a simple instruction. He's such a simple God. Like, the simplicity of it all. It's like, it's just a simple instruction. It's just, go look for a car. Doesn't mean he's telling you, go break your bank account, spend, $30,000 right now. Like, he's not saying all that. You're saying that to yourself, and you're doing that to yourself. You're giving, you're overthinking it. You're overthinking the whole process. All he said was, go look for your car. That's it. So when you follow that instruction, then you will get the next instruction. For example, I'm going to give myself an example. When I went to go get my car, God said, go. God had already been like putting inside of me that I needed to go look for a car, because when I would get in my old car, he would show me like the specific vision of this car, and he would show me a screen, and I would sit there and I kept on feeling this unction that I needed to go look for a car, but in my head I'm like, okay, God, I don't got the funds for this, and my credit is not the best, because I'm like 18 years old. Nobody's gonna give me a car. Like, it's not going to work. Mind you, God never said anything that I just said. All he said is, go look for a car. So one day I was just driving down Telegraph, and I was like, you know what? I need to be obedient. I don't know what he's going to do. And I didn't even ask questions. I literally just drove down Telegraph. I didn't ask any questions. I was sitting in the car, and I was thinking, I wasn't trying to think about it. I was just listening to worship, and I was going through Telegraph, and I was just going down, because down Telegraph, there's a lot of dealerships. And so I was just going to wait till I felt like it was right. Like, it was the right time. It was the right moment. Like, this is where you got to stop. So I ended up stopping somewhere. I go in, and immediately, okay, the guy that started to work on me told me that because of my age, he wasn't sure that I was going to be able to get a car. He said, I'm not sure if you're going to get approved because you really don't have credit, and because of your age, I don't think you're going to be able to get anything. So, and I didn't even think anything of it. I was just kind of like, okay, like, I'm just here to look for a car. Like, I'm not here to take a car. I just came to do what he told me to do, look for a car. So I'm just looking around for a car. I'm not thinking much of it. So I'm looking for a car, and I'm just going around, and I'm like, I don't know what I want, Lord. Like, I'm kind of, I'm not used to this. So I'm just going with the flow. I'm looking around, and I'm just like, oh, I like this. I really like this. And then I finally look at a car, and I'm like, and I see the screen. I see the screen that I kept on seeing when I kept on getting in my old car. And once I saw that screen, I knew that was it. So when I looked at the screen, I said, that's it. I know that's it. So I sat in the car, and I looked at it, and I said, okay, nice. And then I was just going to wait and see what God was going to tell me to do. So I went back inside. I didn't realize the guy was already working on the paperwork, and he's already working on the stuff. So he's like, okay, so give me your information, blah, blah, blah. And actually I took someone with me, and this person was doubting the whole time that I was going to get this car. So I'm just sitting there like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing here, truthfully. So he starts working the numbers. He starts talking to banks, and the first bank that he calls approves me immediately. He comes back, and he's confused because he doesn't understand what just happened. Because mind you, as soon as I walked into the door, he said, I don't think you're going to get approved because of your age. So the first person he called was like, all right, cool, let's do this. So they approved me, and mind you, I just went to go look for a car. I didn't know what my next instruction was going to be. So as this is happening, and he says these things, and then he finally comes back and he says, you're approved. I'm sitting there like, oh, okay, so am I supposed to do this? What's going on, Lord? And the whole time, God is just like, it felt like God's presence was just in there with me. And he was just like holding my hand, because I had someone that was doubting me that whole entire time. I had someone that was standing next to me and was, telling me like, how are you going to do this? How are you going to pay this? You can't get that car, blah, 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 blah. And that's the kind of stuff that happens in real life. I mean, God gives you instructions, you follow through, and then you got people doubting you around you. You will have people that will not understand what it's inside of you. See, that person didn't understand that I have an anointing over my life. That person didn't understand that I have a relationship with God. That person didn't understand that I am going forth and trusting God. That person didn't understand I'm committed to this relationship with God. This person didn't understand exactly what I was going through, but I knew exactly what I was going through. I knew that God spoke to me already. I knew exactly what he was telling me to do. And even in the process, even as I'm going through it, even as I'm trying, like I'm over here, like I'm not sure what to do. I'm going to stand right here, but I'm going to keep trusting you because this is what I got to do. This is what you're calling me to. Because this situation is small, but when I keep moving forward, my trust towards you has to keep growing. So if I can't trust you and I can't have faith for you in this small situation, then how am I going to move forward? How am I going to grow? See, a lot of times we ask for greater. We ask for more. We're like, God, I want more. God, I want to, I want to experience more of you. I want to have more of you. But do you understand what you're asking for? Do you understand that when you are asking for more of God, that means you have to be tested even more? Do you understand that when you do that, you're going to be tested and you have to be purified even more? I mean, look at Jesus. This man was perfect. And people were cruel to him. And we're striving to be like Jesus. So you cannot be surprised when these things happen. And that is just the truth. You cannot come into this walk thinking that you are not going to be persecuted, that you're not going to have people doubting you. You can't walk into this thinking that it's going to be perfect and it's just going to be all these wonderful butterflies. Because if Jesus had to go through it, he was the man example. He was our main example that was given to us. So you have to understand that when you are about to birth a baby, you got to get ready. Even afterwards, like, for example, when you have a baby, people are going to doubt your parenting style. You see what I'm saying? So when you birth this baby, when you birth your ministry, when you birth out the music that he told you to birth, when you birth out the book that you're working on, when you birth out these things that that he told you that you were going to birth, when it comes to pass, people are still going to doubt you. People are still going to doubt. They're going to be like, your book isn't going to sell out. But it's sold out. You see what I'm saying? So people are still going to doubt you even when you give birth. So you cannot allow those things to, determine what you're going to do next. You have to only listen to that still voice that is in your ear, or you have to just follow the instruction that he has given you. That's it. It's that simple. There's a simplicity. Like, God doesn't make it complicated. He makes it as simple as possible. We make it complicating with our overthinking and everything that's going through our mind because, truthfully, we don't really understand what we're going through. We don't really understand what he's telling us to do. See, God gives you these things and God connects you to certain people for a reason. And he's asking for a simple sacrifice because what he has for you is greater than your sacrifice. It's greater than your sacrifice. He sacrificed the biggest thing to him, his own son. That should, like, you should even, like, just, like, thinking about that, like, you should just have a moment of, like, he sacrificed him so that we can be forgiven of our sins, so that sins can just be washed away. And it was that simple. And what did it take for your sins to be washed away? To just say yes. Now comes the process. Now comes the process of you have to be fully committed. You have to let certain things go. You have to understand that it's more than just saying yes. Now you have to say yes to a relationship. Now you have to learn how to have a relationship with God. So, sorry, my eye is a little tired. But just know that there is a process that is, going to happen when God gives you what you need. When God tells you, this is what I have for you. Understand that you can't just run and expect those things to be given to you like that. It's not for free. Like you have to do sacrificing. You're paying with sacrifice and you're paying with obedience. And like that's it works like that. It's like we throw tantrums because the things that he tells us that we're gonna have, they're not here. It's like that's childish. And you can't, do that kind of stuff. Like you have to really understand, like, okay, God, you said I'm gonna have this hair salon. All right, what do I need to do? Okay, daughter, I need you to go to this school. I need you to get your license. After you get your license, I need you to be over here because I want you to work for this salon first so that you can be mentored because this person right here has exactly what you need, exactly what I'm trying to give you. Once you're connected to this person and you have followed every instruction that they have given you and you have honored them, then now she's going to connect you to the person that has the location that is for sale. And when you get there, you're going to have favor because you knew this person and I have already orchestrated the whole thing for you. It's all done. And even when you get there, now you have your salon, but now I need you to take care of this salon. Now I need you to make sure that you take care of this salon. It's always clean. Make sure you're always praying in there. Make sure there's always worship playing in there. And then after that, I need you to hire this person because this person now needs mentorship. So you see what I'm saying? You help one. This is power in unity. There's a power in following instructions because when you follow instructions, it blesses somebody else. And when that person is blessed, it blesses somebody else. So there's a power in unity and obedience. There you go. So I really want y'all to remain in the vein of worship, and I want you guys to remain in that place where you guys are constantly seeking for instructions from God because it's necessary. Because a lot of times we're really just trying to figure it out on our own and we can't do that. So yeah, that's all I have for today. So that was exciting. If you guys want to listen to us, you guys can watch us on Facebook. You can listen to us on TuneIn. That's live. You can also watch the archive videos on YouTube. And you can also listen to us on SoundCloud and podcasts and Spotify. So today we spoke about the baby that is inside of you, the process and the birthing and what it looks like. And I just want to encourage you guys, even in the season that you're in right now. I know that it may not look the way you want it to. It may not smell the way you want it to. It may not sound the way you want it to. But understand that God has a plan for you. And God has a plan for where you are at right now. And understand that even as you go forth and you start, making new steps and being released to do new things, don't fear. God is with you the entire time. And even as He's with you, He's going to even show you more things that you need to do. And these instructions that are given to you, you need to follow them so that you can move to the next level. So that you can continue to be released from the assignments that you are in. So, I think that's it for today. I think we're good. I think I said everything I needed to say. And I will see you guys next week. I'm here every Wednesday at 1 o'clock. I think I want to have a guest next week. I don't know. We'll see what God says. But yeah, so I will talk to you guys next week. If you guys need anything and need to talk to somebody, need prayer or anything like that, you can message us at Worship Radio International, or you can email me at ivetteirving@gmail.com. Yeah, if you need any prayer or you just need to talk or you just need to be listened, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a good listener, so I could listen. Yeah, if you need anything, I got your back. So email me, or you can message me on Facebook or Instagram, Ivette Irving. So yeah, I will see you guys next week. Love you guys. Bye.
This is Prophet Blaine, and you are listening to Worship Radio International, the world's #1 online Christian radio station.